Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, as I hope and I pray that we always do. I'm not important, just a question asker. I'm just a question asker. My name is Raheem Aljami out of Atlanta, Georgia. But we have my brother from another mother, but we got the same father right here with us this morning. And this is the wise man. This is the wise man, Mr. Donald Toussaint. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
I'm all right. I know Zamari, I'm gonna call her name, started that thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I want y'all to stop it.
Uh-oh.
Y'all to stop it.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Gotta
Sooner
put
or
up.
later, sooner or later, somebody in the background gonna say, y'all know he's stupid. Y'all know he's stupid.
The joke ain't got nail sense.
Now nigga sense. If he y'all wise man, y'all in trouble.
Exactly. Now, I got a couple of things I want to talk about today. Today is Friday, man, so we need to let our hair down just a little bit.
Mm.
But I want to ask you a question. Toussaint, you, specifically you, what makes you actually come alive? What makes you come alive? What is it that lifts you up, man? Outside of the obvious, we know the Lord, stuff like that. This is a gospel station, so we know that that's always the case. But outside of that, what is it that lifts you up, man? That makes you come alive?
Um,
Uh-oh. That hand. At Cavassier. That's Pastor Cavassier.
Hey, look, you know how they say if I tell you I had to kill you?
Yes, sir.
No, but you know what, brother? Honestly, um, uh, I would say, um, I'm trying to figure out how to say it, but it's almost expectations,
Mm-hmm.
because I believe, I don't know, we all got our last day, you know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
But I believe that I'm incomplete.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I know that it's a gospel station and I didn't want to go there, but it is what it is. He ain't through.
Yeah.
If where I am, and I've been a long way in my little years,
Mm-hmm.
if it's any indication, where I am is in the indication of what he's doing from based on how far I come, man, I'm gonna be all right.
Oh, yeah.
That makes me alive
Mm-hmm.
because here's what keeps me. If God has his hand on anything I'm doing, it's gonna boy,
Mm-hmm. Come on.
it's gonna work out, boy. I'm gonna come out smelling like a rose.
Mm.
I'm telling you.
Walk through
If he
the
got
fire
his
furnace without a smidgen of smoke on you.
no, no, I'm telling you, brother, because um in the last couple of years, few years, man, I ain't had a pot to I
Come on.
telling you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, the last couple of years, when you get to the point where I don't know if anybody know about losing everything,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm.
still come out of that all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Come on.
Man, look, I'm telling you. And the thing about it is, it ain't got nothing to do with me.
Mm-hmm.
It
Say
has
it.
everything to do with him
Say it.
because you go on with people who want to talk about this God thing that this righteous, all this kind of stuff, and I don't do everything right. I might as well tell you, I got
Mm-hmm.
some stuff going on. But anyway, um, I believe this is just me now. I believe God's showing His hand,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He manifesting. He's dealing with people on a personal basis.
Yes. Yes. Come on, Tucson.
Case
Come on.
by, like it's almost like case by case. I'm dealing with you
Mm-hmm.
right now, every day, every second, every minute of the day. I'm dealing with you, and I want you to show. I want you to see me
Mm-hmm.
for who I am. Even people that have already said in their mind, man, you know what? I ain't Christian, I ain't Muslim, I ain't this, I ain't that, I ain't that. Ain't got nothing to do with that. Don't have ain't he don't care nothing about that. He's showing us, all of us, that he real. And that makes me alive, man,
Mm.
because people need help.
Yes, sir.
And I don't have the revenues to help everybody, but he
Mm-hmm.
does.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
People need feeding. I can't feed folk,
Mm-hmm.
but he can.
Yes,
What I
sir.
mean is, if we are willing, he'll use us as instruments, even if only thing that we got is a good conversation for somebody or two hands.
Mm-hmm.
If that's all you got, a good mouth, a good ear,
Mm-hmm.
he using that so that you can be a vessel of honor for him. That making me alive, because he takes the frailness. I know my time is up because we got
Mm-hmm.
somebody else. I heard him come. He take the frailness of us and be great in us. Man, that's all right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I know she's jumping up and down over there, man. Early in the morning, she's jumping up and down. This is my sister. This is my sister from another mother, but we got the same father. This is Miss Cassandra, the Thug Pastor Green. Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Boy,
Cassandra,
whatever.
Cassandra.
I'm just not. I refuse to cuss. It's too early, so leave me alone.
I say Cassandra, the Thug Pastor. Thug Pastor.
See,
Gotta
see
pull your
right
hands
there.
out.
See,
See, look, when you say that thing,
yeah.
you gotta pull your hands apart. The Thug Pastor Green. You gotta pull your hands apart when you say that. But Cassandra, we asking a question, and we know, gospel station. We know that pretty much everybody's answer is gonna be the Lord. We
Yeah,
know that
don't
part.
repeat the question. I heard it the first
All
time.
right, go
Don't repeat it.
go ahead,
Okay.
knock us out.
So no, so Tucson, was, I mean, like, right on point with where I was going, what I was thinking. But let me share really quickly a little incident that took place yesterday. I was driving on 400, going to meet somebody, and there was a van next to me. One of the vans, like they have the ladders on the top,
Yeah.
work van
Uh-huh.
next to me. So I'm driving. It's a lot of traffic on 400 because they got construction and stuff going on. But we were at a good speed, 60, 70. And all of a sudden, in my spirit, it was like, watch the van. And I was like, okay. So we all moving, and I'm behind him, a little ways behind him, but I'm in the lane right next to him. So then we're driving, and I hear again, watch the van. So I was like, all right, now something happening with this van, so let me keep my eyes, on this van.
Mm-hmm.
I had not said that to myself when there were two ladders on the van, but there was a big round thing, metal thing on top of the two ladders. The string came loose, the line or whatever it was came loose. The round thing lifted up off of the van and came straight toward my windshield.
Wow.
And I'm like, and all I had time to say was Jesus, and I hit my brake, and I heard it hit the front of my van, of my car, and I saw it go over to the other lane, and that car had seen it jump off, I guess, and hit me. So everybody is sort of reacting to that thing coming off.
Mm-hmm.
But the blessing was, and the guy kept going. I don't think he even realized that
Wow.
it had fallen off the car. But that was like the second time that something like that has happened to me, where God warned me and spared my life. When you know that you know who you are, It doesn't matter what happens. You know that God got your back,
Yes.
and you're
Yes.
here for a reason and a purpose.
Hmm.
And the thing that just lights me up is when I'm helping somebody.
Yeah, absolutely.
That may sound crazy. Not
Hmm.
not if I got money, not if I got whatever. It always lights me up when I help somebody. That is my high.
Hmm.
That's my crack
Yeah.
cocaine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I'm just being honest.
Hmm.
It's like my whole being lights up when I do. I don't care how simple a thing it is. When I do something for someone, I don't care how I'm feeling physically, financially, emotionally, I get high.
Hmm. Hmm. That's good. That's
That's
good.
it for me.
That's good.
That's it for me.
And see,
God ain't got to do nothing else. That's it. That's it right there.
hmm
As long as I'm able to help somebody,
just
I'm
put you in,
good.
just put you in a
That's
position
it.
where you can be of an assistance.
Yeah.
That's listen. I don't care if it's passing out bread
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
the home. I don't care what it is, Raheem. It does something to me. I start smiling. My whole being, I don't care how much pain I'm in, my whole being, and I'm in pain every day because of my condition.
Hmm.
But man, I light up like a doggone Christmas tree.
Wow. That's good. That's good. And see, that speaks volume for who you are, though. That absolutely speaks volume because it has nothing to do with you or what you're getting out of the situation. Is that you're able to help somebody, and so that speaks to me. That speaks volume. I don't know if everybody else hear what I hear, but that
Mm.
speaks volume to me. Let's keep this thing going. Rico, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Man, how everybody else doing, man? I'm just happy to see another beautiful day.
Hey, good deal, good day, good to have you here with us, brother. Asking a question, man, Rico, and we know most everybody gonna
I'm,
say
I'm
God,
like
gospel station. Most people
I'm
gonna say
like a
God,
senator.
huh?
I said I'm like a senator. You ain't gotta ask it
Okay.
again.
There you go. There you go. Go ahead.
you know, that to me, that's when you are supposed to understand what the meaning of awareness is. Aware that it's something bigger than me and you. I think when you really and truly accept there, there's something much more powerful, much more, just way bigger than we can even imagine this that we have to answer to that's responsible for us
Mm-hmm.
being here. I think that's what makes you aware of what's going on around you. You're always paying attention because you value what this gift, this existence is.
Mm-hmm.
So you might sense danger. You get these warning signs, they look gut feeling. You might pay attention to things that other people don't pay attention to. You might be a witness to something that nobody else is a witness to because you are aware. That means to me, that shows that things mean something to you. And so I think most people that walk around with that idea that that things mean something to them, yeah, most of them have a belief in a higher power, a
Yes.
higher existence. And I think that's the God in them
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
makes them so aware. Because it's really hard for me to even understand how some people aren't aware of the things that's going on around them. You got so many people that's like, I don't know about this. I don't know about that going on. I just
Mm-hmm.
mind my business. I just
Mm.
try to do my own thing. Just me and God. As
Yeah.
long as I worry about my business, I don't get, but you still got other people. People need to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Children need saving.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Somebody, somebody need the police call because they're being abused.
Come on.
It's that awareness. It's that being able to walk up and see somebody and look them in the eyes and can tell, you know what, man, somebody doing something to that baby.
Mm-hmm.
That woman catching it at home.
Mm-hmm.
Just knowing the energy around you. I mean, that to me, that shows the ultimate example of how much you really do understand and appreciate how aware you are of the higher existence and purpose and principle.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's so good. I'm gonna say so easy for some of us to like to help people,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
to
Yeah.
be so forgiving, or to be so open, to want to be that lending hand. I was thinking the other day. I think I said it on the show, but having concern, being a reasoner, being logical, and having compassion, man, those are a lot of um, Jesus-like ways to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Rico,
If you go by what the example of Jesus is supposed to be. So I think, man, you see that in a lot of people, man. You know, it comes natural. It comes from the heart.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's really an indicator. If you pay attention, if you're aware yourself, you might even recognize it in other people.
Yeah.
That awareness, that consciousness that exists, that has them in a situation where they hate to see people feeling down, or they just can't bypass somebody in need or in trouble when they know that they may be able to lend some assistance. That's a good representative of people that can't.
Exactly. That's good. That's good. We're gonna ask you another question. Then we're gonna go to Ryan. We have Ryan with us this morning as well. The question is, what makes you come alive? What do the walk when you do in the morning, when you get out there early in the morning, man, before most people are even up or thinking about getting up, and you're out and you're walking? What does that do for you, Rico?
Man, it makes me appreciate existence.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you actually are able to walk around and just hear nothing, look in the sky and see the stars. Every now and then you see some weird stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, I wish somebody else was up to see this.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you start hearing those birds chirping, you're like, oh man, they waking up. You can hear them communicate with it. It's like an answering a call.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and it's simple. I mean, that's something that many people take for granted. But man, I mean, we just seeing this calm and all this atmosphere that I see around me, all this activity I see around me at that time of the morning, to see how calm it is and how peaceful it is, and then to see life or waking up or awaken in the morning like that, man. I mean, it's man, it just, you know, I can't really describe it, man. Words can't describe it. I just know it makes me feel alive.
There you go. There you go. That's good. That's good. And see, that's the thing, man, because you know that's a connection that you have. And see, everybody have their own connection in one way or another. Something that they do, something that happens in their life to actually be. Cassandra, her example was when she's helping somebody. When she's in a situation where she can help and assist somebody, she said that brings her alive. That gives her that life, that spark or that I don't know if it's even motivation, but it puts something in her that nothing else can replace. Everybody got 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. What is it that makes you feel? What is it that makes you feel alive? What is it that makes you come alive? Ryan, good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning?
Doing good, sir. How are you?
Hey, doing well. Good to have you, man. We're asking the question, what is it that makes you come alive? You know, outside of the spirituality and stuff, what is it that makes you come alive?
Got to go to work. Got to get up and go to work. No, we talking about, you know me, I got to clown a little bit. Man, coming alive. I don't know, man. I have a few things. I like what brings joy to me in multiple levels is my children. Even though there's issues and stuff like that, you know, no child is perfect. When I take my children somewhere and I see them interact with other children and how much happiness it brings them, it does something to me because I didn't have that. And it makes me feel like almost accomplished in a way. Like, man, this is so awesome. I used to get beat every day. I used to get jumped every day. I used to go through all of this stuff, and here my kids are being able to be kids because I never got that. So that makes me jump a little bit inside.
There you go. Yeah.
Same thing with like what Cassandra was saying. When I help people, it makes me feel wonderful inside because I was always the one having to be helped. And I was never able to help others because I've been so broke, busted, and disgusted most of my life. When I get to do it, it makes me feel good because I'm returning what was given to me at certain times in my life. So there's multiple different avenues of what brings me alive inside, so to say. But I think those are probably the two most important ones.
Good deal. Good deal. Tucson, what is it in you, brother? We talked a little bit on this, man. What is it that make that light come on in your life?
I mean, to be able to see, because last time you seen the hand of God, I mean, literally, I mean, physically, in your natural sense. When the last time you seen the hands of God? When the last time you saw him actually physically do anything? For real. I know we're spiritual, try to be anyway. But for him, see, I got hands and I got feet. And for him to use my hands and my feet, I'm kind of like Cassandra. That's like smoking one of them stogies. Taking all the inner part of it out of it and putting some of that good sesame in there.
Oh Lord.
When you see somebody that actually they can't give you back what you're giving to them. Man, that's like blow me a charge.
And see,
straight to the nose, Rico.
Wow.
When you see that person that man, can you matter of fact, they don't even have to tell you they need help.
Yeah.
You know they need it. And you are the person that God uses to do that.
Wow.
Man, I ain't never been on no heroin, but I'm pretty sure it's something like that.
It's that high.
I was scared of crack.
Yeah.
Because crack make you steal from your mama. But I believe that it's better than crack cocaine.
Good Lord. Wow.
Rolling up your dollar bill, and when you see that person, when you do something for them and they just bust out in tears.
Yeah.
But because nobody ever even thought about them. Man, you talking about a high. When you see communities and you don't have anything to offer, but some kind of way he supplies enough, and you almost like, man, I'm out here helping feed the multitudes, and my refrigerator empty.
Wow.
You talking about a high. And then when you're not concerned about yourself, because it's like somewhere or another, God gonna pay me back for this.
Yeah.
Not looking for him to pay me back, expecting him to do what he says. You know what I started talking about? You know that old offering song, Cassandra, when they say you can't beat God's given no matter how you try. I was gonna sing it, but I went and talk
Please,
it out.
yeah, talk it out. You did good.
The more you give, the more he'll give to you. Man, that song true. That's a true song. That's a true song. And here's the thing. Your hand ain't big as the God's.
Come on.
So look, when I think about, and I said it before just now, hey, God ain't got no, God ain't gonna, but he don't have no hands, but he got yours. I mean, physically.
Yeah.
And when Rico talk about that walk, I think that it's kind of like the Adam experience, just you and him. You see so much animals that you thought that never existed, birds doing what they do, hearing absolutely nothing, but you hear him, and you're able to think. You're able to move all the drama and the confusion that goes on in the world, and you are all alone. People still sleep, but it's kind of like, man, me and God out here doing our thing.
Exactly. Wow.
The Adam experience.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We lost Rico. Hopefully he'll be able to call back in a minute or two, because I would love to go back to him and have him to respond to what you just said. But in the meantime, let's go to Cassandra, because Cassandra, Toussaint said just now, he said that a lot of times, you could give and you could give and you go out there and help all these people, and you feeding people and all kind of stuff. And sometimes, the person will go out there and feeding, but get home, they look at their refrigerator, man, and the cupboards are bare. Why would a person do that?
Just because you just love, I have a thing, I can't know or even think that somebody is in need of something. I've given my last, and a
Yep.
lot of
Yep.
times, my daughter would say, "Mama, you give people your underwear if they ask," and I say, "Yeah, I'd wash it first, but I give it." I just,
Yeah.
I don't like seeing people suffer, and I can do something, and I've done it. I have given stuff out of my refrigerator, the last little bit I had, or somebody need a few dollars, and I ain't got but a few dollars, and I'll give that, $5, $10, whatever it is that they need. I'll do that. And I'm gonna, and it's not about getting accolades or somebody say, "Ooh, she's a good person." She do, because I'm messed up. I'm jacked up like a whole lot of other people, but my
Mhm.
heart is in the right place, and
Yes.
God knows that.
Mhm.
So I got all of my faults, but my heart is in the right place, and that's what I appreciate about myself. But listen, I definitely, I mean, I was going to tell y'all a story, but I'm not going to tell y'all that story because y'all would be like, "Nah, she didn't." But I just, you know, I'm a giver, I'm a helper.
Mhm.
And even when I don't have, my heart is to help,
Yes.
and I cry. You know what? I was crying last night because I wanted to be a blessing to somebody that called me and needed help. And guess what? I laid in a bed and cried. I said, "God, why would you have them to call me and me not be able to help them?" And I cried. And that's why I want wealth. I say this all the time, and I mean this. The reason I want money is so that I can be a blessing to
Yep.
other
Yep.
people.
That's the only
That's
reason.
what my
Yep.
ministry
Yep.
is all about,
Mhm.
being a blessing to other people.
Mhm. Exactly. I'm the same with it, and that's why people tell me. I'll say, man, if I was to get a whole lot of money, I'll probably end up giving it all away, because I know I would. I see somebody that needs something, man. I'm gonna help them. Here you go, and walk off. You don't need to know nothing about me. You don't need to know who I am. Has nothing to do with me. God blessed you. God blessed you, and and
Absolutely.
and, and walk away with that. You don't need to know my name. Whether you see me again or not does not matter. Let me go to Curtis. Curtis, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Morning, man. Morning,
Cu-
family.
Hey, good to
How
have you,
y'all
brother.
doing?
Hey, doing good. Good to have you with us this morning, man. Asking a question, Curtis. And we all know, being a spiritual station, that most of our answers is gonna be God. It's gonna be God, the Holy Spirit, and things. We know that part. So we're gonna not go past that part. We're gonna get to this part here. And I want to ask you, Curtis, what is it that make you come alive? What is it that make you feel alive? What is it that turns that light on in your life?
Theater, man. The theater.
Wow. Okay. Talk to me. What is that experience like?
It's the one place I can be free.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, it's the one place I can be free. I can say whatever I want to say. I can almost do whatever I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I can believe whatever I want to believe. Um, the theater is therapeutic. A lot of people think the theater is just a place where you go to see a show. It's not. The theater is a place you go. Some folks go to get healing. Theater is a place where some folks go to gain a greater understanding. Huh?
Go ahead. You broke up on me there for a second, but I can hear you now. Go ahead.
I said the theater is a place where folks go. They can get therapy, they can get healing, they can get understanding. They can. It's a place where sometimes you can go and look in the mirror without having to have it, without having to have a mirror.
Wow.
It, it's just a special place for me, man. It's a special place for me, and it always will be. Nothing will ever change that experience. Nothing.
Wow. That's good. That's good. Ryan, talk to me, brother.
Yeah, man, I'm in the same boat. Like, when you're helping folks, they do something to you because it's what you're supposed to do. I can remember many times when my wife and I were in ministry, just pulling people into our homes, even though we didn't have anything, and making a Thanksgiving type smorgasbord for all these folks. Even though we didn't have nothing, we was happy to be helping them, feeding them, giving them sustenance, and then just having that relationship, building relationships. That was something that we were huge on, was building relationships. Because a lot of people, at least in the ministry I've been involved in, have gone to church and gone through all of these motions and all of these things, and they feel alone. They feel disconnected from the rest of the congregation. So we would take those people that felt kind of like outcasts and give them a place to belong, and it would just do something extra inside of us. You know what I mean?
Yes. That's good. That's good. Cassandra?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm laying here, smiling, listening to everyone, because it's just all about, that warm, fuzzy feeling.
Yeah.
that you get when you've made somebody's life better, even if it's for, a little while, like I'll give you an example. Like when I'm working with the homeless, and you giving them, I'm hearing myself. Is that me?
Yeah, it's clear. It's clear on our end. It's clear.
Okay, so why is it doing that?
Sometimes
I hear echo too.
Oh, you hear echo too? I don't hear it on this end here. Oh no, let me see. Let me keep take it for a second too, so I'm gonna refresh.
Okay.
No, go ahead, Cassandra.
Okay. Yeah. So like when you take a homeless person some socks, and somebody cares about them or what they're going through. And when you do it, and okay, I'm gonna go back to the spiritual. The Bible says when you do it to the least of these, you've done it unto God.
Exactly.
That is powerful.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
I'm gonna stop talking because I'm hearing that echo.
Okay. And
but yeah, that's it.
Good deal. I'm gonna go. Let me go to Let me go to Curtis. I'm gonna go back to Curtis, and I'm gonna go to Tucson. Then I'm gonna circle my way back around. We're gonna switch the topic just for a second here. It's been all over the news. Curtis. Curtis, you there?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay, it's been all over the news, man. Florida strikes again, man. DeSantis, they got a new standard of teaching Black history in Florida, and it says that some aspects of slavery was beneficial to the Black people, to the Black man and Black woman, to the people that were slaves. He said there were some aspects of it that were very beneficial. Curtis, what is he talking about?
You really don't want me to answer that, man. Are you kidding me? Come on, man.
Come on.
Oh, man. What he's talking about, it ain't even what he's talking about. Here's what he's showing you. He's showing you how white nationalists have hijacked history and whitewashed it and continue to whitewash it. They used to do it on the low, and folks wasn't catching on to it. But now they done got so brazen in fear of losing what power and privilege that they have, that they done got brazen. They're just doing it right in front of your face.
Mm.
The sad reality is, I talk about them. I'm gonna talk about these so-called Black folk who hate themselves so much that they even buying into this foolishness. It's foolishness, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, look, I ain't gonna talk about that. I'm gonna stop. What I feel, if you are not Black or Hispanic or brown or minority, period. If you are any of the above and you do not live in Florida, you should be boycotting and staying your hind parts out of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Period. No ifs, ands, buts about it. Don't get a state no more money. We're talking about a state that makes probably 80% of its revenue off of tourism.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But every time we want to party, we go jump out behinds right down there to Miami, South Beach. And for the most part, most of the places in South Beach, we can't afford it. I'm just going to keep it real.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, the guy is catering to a particular part or a particular segment in American culture. The second is he's catering to a sect in American culture that is very, very, very limited, minute. But we as a people keep allowing them to do the things that they do.
Wow.
There's a freshman congresswoman out of Texas. Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. According to what I've seen, we need to collectively come together and surround. Somebody need to get on. If Cap on this phone, Cap, please get on the phone with the minister, man. Get some people around this girl at the table, because in my opinion, they're gonna try and kill her.
Wow.
She calls them out every time with their foolishness, man. That what you got right now is the same thing we saw with the fall of the Roman Empire. And these people are losing power and privilege that they have had over this country for years. If we don't make a move right now, I can guarantee you within 10 to 15 years, there will be Jim Crow 3.0. It will be reinstituted in the South. And it ain't, but to be honest with you, I'm going to make a bold prediction for the plan. It ain't even going to start in the South. They're going to shift. It's going to start in the Midwest, Central America. The Southern strategy is going to start there, then bleed back through the South, and then leak over to the east and to the west. That's all you're saying is.
Curtis, let me ask you this question. Curtis, let me ask you this question. Do you think there's a segment, I say it that way, a segment in this society in which we live in today that if they could bring back slavery, they would?
Without a doubt. What do you mean?
Wow.
Slavery ain't never went nowhere.
You know,
It ain't never went nowhere.
well, I'm talking about in the way that it was.
Okay. Yeah. It ain't never went nowhere around here. Let me break this down for you. So, what they did was they traded in the whip. They traded in the whip. They replaced it with such things as limited pay, incarceration, malnutrition, all things that would govern a society, a set or a segment of the culture in sex. They just replaced the whip. Now they beating you, but how they doing it? They beating you like this. So let me break it down. Okay. So now these jobs say they don't want to hire you, so you got a criminal record. But if you look at this kid criminal record, he got a bunch of charges that's Trump charges. In these inner cities, I done rolled 10 blocks right here. I done rolled 10 blocks in the city of Baltimore. 10 blocks of which not every single neighborhood or every single block was a crime-ridden block. I rolled 10 blocks. Guess how many police cars I counted in a 10-block radius, Raheem?
How many?
43. 43. So now you got guys, and this is one of the things why I left Baltimore. So you got guys that's catching Trump charges. I mean, when I tell you BS charges, oh my God, catching these charges. Now they go to get a job, and when the job pull their background say, oh man, we can't hire you. Or if we do hire you, we're gonna hire you for the bare minimum. They just traded in the whip, man. They replaced the whip, and they using the prison industrial complex, you know what I'm saying, the redlining idea, all of that stuff that decreased the value of a black person and his community is what they're using now. They're not using the whip no more.
Good.
I'm just saying, man.
Good deal. Good. Let me keep this thing going. Cassandra, what's on your heart? They're saying that DeSantis in Florida passed a thing that says that the new teaching standards in Florida says some aspects of slavery was beneficial.
Yeah. Don't Raheem. Don't even that Raheem. You know, first of all, DeSantis is to me like, well, he's a mini me 45. He's a mini me Trump. Point blank, ain't no other way to put it. Because anytime you would say that there were benefits, they're talking about skills. Okay. Woosah. How in the heck, as a slave, you learning a dang gone trade is something good? What are you stupid? Are you stupid? The things that this man, but you know what? The biggest thing with him is he is trying to get to be president. I'm upset with black people because we still going to Florida. I don't think I'm with Kurt. We should totally boycott Florida. All black people, don't give them none of our dang gone money for a minute. Don't go until some things change there. Because this man shows his racist card every time you turn around. Every time you turn around, he's doing something, especially when it comes to Black people.
Mm-hmm.
And we, especially Black people, we make Florida tick almost with how much we go on vacation there.
Exactly.
We will literally sacrifice to take our children down there to Florida to their different beaches. We need to totally boycott them. And I'm not going to Florida for a minute. I won't be going there. And I usually take my retreats there, my women's retreat. My few women, it may not make a lot of difference, but it's going to make a difference.
Yeah.
We have to stand against places like that if we want to see change. And this man is losing his mind because he wants to be president so bad, he's doing anything to get those people's approval.
Wow. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We'd love to have your input. We are asking right now the question. DeSantis out of Florida said that there was some aspects of slavery. Then the new thing that I saw something on news this morning. A young lady, she was actually a teacher in Florida, and she was one of our Caucasian sisters. She was on the morning show this morning, and she was talking about how, she don't understand how in the world they could even bring themselves to this. And she said she not going to teach it. She's going to try to, but she said if she don't teach it in the way that they're saying it, they could take her what's that thing called, Cassandra, that them teachers got to have not qualification.
Her license.
Yeah,
her license.
yeah,
they can take her license.
Yeah. She using it is licensed, but she used another certificate or something like that. I think what she said. They can take her certificate away from her, and she won't be able to teach. And so she said she's gonna, go navigate around it in the best way she can to put a lot of truth in it. But she said, if they find out that she's adding some truth into this lie, they're gonna take her certificate, and she won't be able to teach at all. Ryan, talk to me, brother. He said that there are some benefits. There's some benefits. Slavery had a lot of benefits and taught skills and things like that to the Black man that was a slave, Black man and woman that was a slave. What do you say to that?
You ever seen that movie, Billy Madison? Well, Adam Sandler, a long time ago. He's an adult going back through grade school. And there's a scene where they go to an auditorium and they're giving him a verbal test to see if he's just as stupid as they think he is. And he gives this answer. And I'm going to equate that response to this answer. And the question asker says, that is incorrect. We are now all dumber. As of hearing this answer, you have failed.
Wow.
That's how I feel. Man, somebody need to give DeSantis some Mentos. He needed some freshening up on his history.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because that's absolutely crazy to me, man. But that's what he said, man. I'm gonna try to pull up the clip where he was talking about it. I'm gonna try to pull up that clip and play that clip as well. But let me go to Tucson. Tucson, what's on your heart, man?
Wait. Let me finish my thought.
Okay.
The crazy thing is, DeSantis is Cuban. He's what would be considered a minority. His family immigrated here. So how in the bleep you gonna say some stupid mess like that?
Well, a lot of times, man, what happens is some group that always try to place themselves in the category of being Caucasian. He probably check Caucasian when they do the census and stuff like that. He probably click check Caucasian, so he think that's what he is. It happens across the board, man. It happens across the board.
Cultural appropriation.
Yeah, exactly. Let me go to Tucson. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother?
Well, when people you know you don't have to call a person stupid. They just be stupid. I mean, come on. But that's how you feel because he think he didn't come up the other way.
Mm-hmm.
When you don't know nothing, you can't say nothing.
Yeah.
You just want to be heard. People have a tendency to do some strange things to get up or feel like they have arrived.
Yeah.
Or
exactly.
fit in.
Exactly.
Try to achieve a position, a title, kind of a support from certain groups. I can't call him what I want to call him. But I hear him and it's stupid. It's just stupid. That's stupid. It don't make no sense. Let me tell you something about slavers. Just me. Don't have to be right. And I always reflect on Nebuchadnezzar. See what they did, in just my opinion. They took the best of the best. Who wants a broken down anything?
Yeah.
If they intend to do better than what they're doing, or to make what they're doing function in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, here's what I'm saying. They check their teeth, they check their muscles, they check this, they check that, they do this, and they rape their women at the same time. But they take the best of them. And if there is one that's so strong, not only in his physical sense, in his mental sense, they break that buck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they want the buck to bend. So you're stupid. That's stupid. It's not the thing that you made the slaves smart or whatever they benefit. They was already that way before they got here.
Mm-hmm.
You dummy.
Mm-hmm.
You ignorant dumb. Well, I can't say what I want to say.
You almost
dumb. That's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
That's stupid. That's all I can say. Because if I wanted to build the kingdom, you think I would take somebody broke down that don't know nothing? No, you dummy.
Mm-hmm.
Ignorant self. That's ignorant. That's ignorance. And some other ignorant, I bet you they got one other ignorant. So, yeah, he sure did help us. Boy, I'll tell you something that you don't want to hear me say it in a long time. Because you're stupid too. If anybody thinks that they helped us, they needed help.
Mm-hmm.
This whole nation would be suffering from them trying to not, they still be in the field. If somebody wouldn't have had enough sense to make a cotton gin, you dummy. Wasn't none of them. So I must bail out of this conversation before I say something I shouldn't say.
Look here. You might be past that point, brother. You might be past that point already. I'm just saying. You might be past that point already. Badger, good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning?
Oh, spent the last 20, 30 minutes reading the whole standards thing.
Uh-huh. What'd you come up with?
Well, for one, I haven't found the word they're talking about. And it sounds like a lot of news channels and stuff where people are trying to peermonger.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I kind of, so far from what I've read, I wish I was taught that in school.
Wish you was taught what?
What they're saying they're wanting to teach.
Badger, you're not being clear, brother. What part are you talking about?
How it's not just, dude, I don't know how it's 216 pages, so I'm still reading it. But so far in the first few pages, it's talking about bringing awareness to those that were successful, the people on all sides that fought for the abolishment of slavery,
It's pretty informative.
Okay.
I'm trying to see, and I'm looking at it, scrutinizing it, because I'm trying to find anything possible to say that it's bad so far.
Okay.
With a few first pages. So
okay.
I'm trying to find exactly what you're talking about this morning.
Okay. What I'm talking about is all over CNN. You can look at you turn CNN on right now, you'll probably see it. It ain't gonna take long before. But listen to me. Or you know, they actually talk about on a lot of different platforms. But they're saying what they're talking about is he's saying that let me see. New teaching standards in Florida says some aspects of it was beneficial to the slave. Slavery was beneficial to the slave. Tell me where you see in there where is explaining to me how being a slave was beneficial to the slave.
That's what I'm trying to find, and so far I haven't found it. I haven't found a statement that says that in this whole document.
But you said, you know, some of it is good.
That's why I'm confused.
Tell me about the part that you say is good.
I'll just read off a couple of recognize African American inventors and explorers. Identify African American artists. Identify African Americans who demonstrated civic service. Identify oral traditions and folktales. Positive influence and contributions by African Americans. And it just goes on like that.
Okay. Do we have to be slaves in order to obtain that?
There's nothing that says that was because of slavery.
No,
that's why I'm confused.
No, be confused because what he said. Hold on, because I'm gonna come to you. What he said.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. What he said.
Because
hold on. He's saying that there's aspects of slavery that benefited black people. Now you're talking about all the successes that we had. All that's fine, that's good. But did we have to be slaves in order to obtain those things? How did slavery, not the things that we accomplished, how did being a slave benefit us as a people?
Oh no, I found it. It is in that document, so they're right. No, that's not okay.
Okay, Cassandra?
Not at all.
Yeah, because let me tell you, as a former teacher, anytime your teachers union, the largest teachers union, says this is not good, you better believe it ain't good. If your largest teachers union says what y'all got here is not good, I don't give a rest, but who says it's okay? They're the ones that teach the curriculum. They know what is good and what is not good. And the teachers union said, this is taking us backwards. It is not good. Yeah, you can throw in the low positive stuff, but and all of that's good. I love, put in there the inventors of this, the that, and that. But God darn it, if you are not, if you are not teaching the nasty, disgusting, filthy stuff that they did to Black people, you are not teaching Black history. Point blank, you're not teaching Black history. If you're not teaching about Jim Crow and everything that it entailed and everything that was done to us, because that's like, I'm Badger, because I know that you're Native American background, let me tell you something. If they were to teach the way they do, watered down stuff about the people, your people, how would that make you feel? Because that's what they do. You know, cowboys and Indians, and the Indians were savages, and they were this, and they were that, and they were that. How does that make you feel when you hear that? That's the way Black people feel when we see stuff like what they're doing in Florida with the history. Don't water down our trauma. Don't water it down. How dare you water it down and say and put what you want to be taught and not the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Man, that pisses me off. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Can I
I'm
please
sorry.
respond?
I knew that was coming sooner or later.
Go ahead,
You
Badger.
beat me to it, Cassandra.
May I respond to Cassandra?
Go ahead, brother.
So before you hopped in, I also found the small print that you're talking about, and I didn't know the teachers union has already been over this because I just woke up into this. I also said I've only read a few pages because there's 216. And then as I was continuing reading, as I was talking, I found what y'all are talking about. It's in the paperwork. It is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
The way they're going to do this is wrong.
What did you find, Badger? Please read what you found that brought you to that, because I haven't had the chance to read it yet, and I have an opinion that might clear some things up for you.
Bench, it's under the analyze events that evolved and affected Africans from the founding of the nation through Reconstruction.
Okay.
And it's a benchmark clarification. Clarification 1, instructions includes how slaves developed skills which in some instances could be applied to their personal benefit.
Mm.
In regards to examine the various duties and trades performed by slaves, agricultural work, painting, carpentry, tailoring, domestic service, blacksmithing, transportation, and so on as examples. And I'm getting really angry the more I'm reading this, so I'm trying to.
I'm about to cuss. That's all I got to say. So y'all put me in the corner right now.
So,
but see, and that's that's one of the things right there. And see, my thing is a lot of times that's why I tell people I try to do it myself. Read what it is that's before you comment. Now, Badger didn't mean any harm at all. But my thing is before you get and he had to continue to read because his first comment was, and this will kind of throw a little monkey wrench in it. It's good. I like what they're saying. I wish they would have taught me that when I was in school. But as he continued to read, that's when they started pouring all this other stuff into it, all this other stuff that has him to the point right now when he said he's angry. Let me go to Toya with a T. Toya with a T. Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good. Good to have you, sis. We're talking about the new teachings in the state of Florida. They're saying their new curriculum is saying that there are some aspects of slavery, of being a slave, that is beneficial to the slaves, to the black people. Some things that yeah. And that's what, and I was looking at the news this morning, when I was getting ready, and there was one of our Caucasian sisters was actually on there who happened to be a teacher in the state of Florida in Pensacola. And she was saying that, she don't want to teach that because it's wrong. There's nothing good about it, and they're lying. And she was just that straightforward. And she said, but if she don't teach it in a way that she's gonna have to teach it, but she's gonna try to alter it a little bit for what they have, so she can put some truth in there. Because if not, they're gonna take her certification because she's not teaching directly what's on the curriculum. Toya, I need to understand what part of slavery was beneficial to black people.
Oh, why are you asking me? I ain't figured that part out yet. There got to be some specialists out there, probably of non-color, that can tell you what it was. I haven't found it. What made us sour with white folks? What made us want to buck the system? What it made us have a different relationship with white folks and not trust them no more? I mean, that's the only kind of benefits I can see. How was my great grandfather being a breeding nigga?
Hey.
Good to me.
Mm-hmm.
How that help me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I don't know. I ain't figured that out. But this is what abusers have to do. This is what groomers do. I'm gonna tell you that this life that they've given you allows you to have is better. Normally when they human traffic you, that's what they do, right?
Mm-hmm.
They tell you how good things are on the other side. Yeah, hey, they lie to you. They lie to you. Some of us are gonna take you to a new world, a new life. And they put on Disney music and make it sound cute, sweet, and cuddly. They leave trails of popcorn and candy to throw you off. And then when you get there, you're in hell. Yeah, that's something I learned. Don't trust white folks. Slavery taught me, because they lie. And they do treacherous things. Like, come on with the jokes. This is the point to where we have to think about all the things we've talked about. Being black, the school to prison pipeline, the Confederate Sisters textbooks, the forming of the United States and how, they grew, how it was beneficial to most white people to have slaves.
Mm-hmm.
Now, maybe they want to say, oh, black people had slaves too, they were beneficial. Yep, not the part of slavery we were talking about. But with everything that has transitioned and gone on in America, they're being built off of lies. That is how we groom others to be okay with what we do. When we abuse people, this is what we do. We groom each other or groom others to help them mentally think that what they're doing or what we have going on is okay. And it's all a part of a process. How many years we've been talking about trying to turn us back into slaves? How many years? At least 15.
Yeah.
Right?
Many.
It's conspiracy theory. That's not what they want to do. But now if they take this curriculum and implement it in the school, what are they doing? They're rebranding slavery.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's being taught, just like prison and pipeline, like all of this stuff matters. Now that we're waking up, the only thing you can do now is try to force your knee on my neck and say, no, that was beneficial. Because now you want to play mind games.
Mm-hmm.
But I declared that in this day, as humans, we got to have our own mind,
Mm-hmm.
We got to do our own thing. We cannot keep conforming to people or to a standard or to a spirit in America that we know wasn't right.
Yeah.
America can't be trusted anymore. And when I say America, I mean the people that operate and run our government.
Mm-hmm.
They can't be trusted no more. They lie about everything and say it's in our best interest. They manipulate situations to say they wasn't true to get you to be mad at people that they've murdered because they wanted something from them. And here we are again. They want something from us again. Anybody out there, if any of us start a business, do you know how beneficial it would be to you if you had free labor?
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah. Exactly.
Saying. You know what
exactly.
I mean?
Yeah.
So if we're going to go back and do this again, and we're going to go ahead, because we're probably depleted, right? Inflation is throwing us off. In order for us to start this other mass plan, we have to convince these children. That's how they take over nations. They kill the parents, they slaughter the parents, discredit the parents, they take the kids, they implement what they want into the kids, and now they have an entire nation under their control.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they did to us the first time. It's happening again. So
Wow.
we can continue to walk around here and make it seem like white people just woke up one day and left us. White people woke up one day and just say, hey, yeah, we're not going to be slave masters anymore. We're just going to let them free, and we're all going to be Gucci. We're all going to be great. Believe that if you want to. And your kids are mess around and be your slave masters.
Exactly. Wow. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We're talking about Florida is saying that there are some aspects of slavery that was beneficial to the slaves. What do you say to that? Give us a call. 508-924-3521. TikTok. I see you over there. I want y'all to call in too. I see you over there. What's my man Charles? I see you over there, Charles, and quite a few people that's over there on TikTok. Give us a call. The phone lines are open. 508-924-3521. Now, Curtis, what do you say to about to shake it up a little bit? What do you say to the people that say, man, listen, man, we did y'all a favor coming over there getting y'all from Africa. Man, we brought you over here to this modern civilization. We brought you over here to a better lifestyle. We brought you over here, man, where you could live high on the hog. Man, you know what y'all were doing.
You get punched in the mouth. That's what you're gonna get.
Ricky, you about to make somebody go crazy. Stop it.
Hey, I'm just a question asker. Hey, today is Friday. We Curtis, talk to me, brother.
T know me. What's up, man? T know me.
No,
She just told you. That's
Yeah.
why she a woman and I'm a man.
Mhm.
She know her son. She know her son. Punched in the mouth. Punched in the mouth. Now, if you want to get academic about it, America wasn't nothing until we got here. What do you mean? What do you mean? America wasn't nothing. Everything about this country it has been designed
Yes, Badger.
and built
Mm-hmm.
by our people.
Mm-hmm.
DC is designed and built by Negroes. The cotton gin was designed and built by Negroes. The South becoming the cotton king was uniquely built by Negroes.
Mm-hmm.
What else you want? What else you want?
Come on, keep it
The
coming.
railroads designed and built by Negroes and Asians.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we can keep going. The Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, designed and written, for the most part, 80% of that document, written by a Negro.
And that's my point. Had we not come over there to Africa and got y'all here, y'all wouldn't be able to do all that stuff. You won't be able to claim all that stuff because you would not have done it over there.
That was already done. That's called ignorance. The whole entire Roman Empire was stolen from the Egyptians. The structure, the design, mathematics, arithmetic, reading, lettering, writing, you name it, it all comes from Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean? What do you mean we had a better? What do you mean? The greatest civilization still to the day, what is considered the greatest civilization to ever exist on this planet, comes from Africa. What do you mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How can you even begin to lie to yourself about that? Why do you even tell yourself that lie? Everything that is great and influential comes from Africa. What do you mean?
Mm-hmm.
And we are descendants of that tree. What do you mean? But I probably wouldn't get the chance to say all that because Toya said it right. Punch him in the mouth.
Wow. 508-924. Go ahead, Curtis.
Because see, it has been proven.
Mm-hmm.
They have shown us. You know, there's a scripture that says, "Thus he showed me." He took me to a wall and stood with a plumb line in his hand. I ain't gonna say the rest, but they have shown you that words and empirical data does not mean anything to them.
Wow.
So at this point, you're gonna have to bang them in the mouth.
Wow. Badger, you had something you want to say, Badger?
The part that scares me the most is not only how screwed up it is and the fine details that I'm glad someone caught and brought to the news, is how much it supports the business ideology of using other human beings and trying to make it a good thing. In this dog-eat-dog world mentality that we're still having to fight every day. And how many people are actually okay with it just goes to show how brainwashed our society is.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow. Toussaint, talk to me, brother.
You don't want me to say nothing.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Today's Friday, brother. We got to pass. We got to pass for at least 2 days.
Curtis is right. You see, there are some things they're still trying to figure out. How did they do that? Period. How did they do that? It's sure not in the heart of America. But it's in the heart of Africa. It ain't nothing like we've been running us away from lions all of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid. Oh, I'm careful with my words because I'm in the general public. There are some things that I can't say.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, you tell me, because if you observe a people and see how they function and do incredible things in so much of an amazing way, you are a tyrant that don't know nothing, can't do nothing for your own self, can't even raise your own children, because you don't want to get off your high horse and figure it out. You bring in people and just brutally use them and abuse them so that you can robbing them from their day, manipulate. I can't say everything. I'm careful with my words because again, I'm in an open setting. You got other folks around me, so I'm careful. But at the same time, y'all know what I'm saying. See, what they're not saying is, if you're gonna teach the history, show some of them in the trees hanging. Show some of them with their inner parts and private parts missing, cut off, and put in their mouth. That's part of history.
Wow.
Show them being burned to death alive. That's the history.
Cassandra, you don't calm down over there? Toya with a T, coming to you next.
Yeah, you know what really hurts me is that we're talking about our people and what they have been through back then, slavery time, but you can come all the way up to yesterday and find situations where our people are still not being treated fairly, still not getting the justice that we should, still being considered niggas. Because I'm gonna tell you, when I left my hometown, Charleston, South Carolina, as far as I'm concerned, still under the slave mentality, and I grew up there and didn't leave there until I was in my 30s. They still live under that slave mentality. When a white man stands at my door where I live and I'm paying the bills, and calls me a nigger B because I'm trying to help, because they're terrorizing an interracial couple that moves into the neighborhood, you ain't gonna tell me this country has come so far. How far have they come? How far have they come? When a black man, just because he's black and riding a certain car or in a certain neighborhood, we getting stopped and profiled. How far have we come? That's what people, well, that was no, it's not in the past. We're still going through that in this country.
Every day.
It's not in the past.
Every day.
Every day. We're dealing with that kind of stuff. And not, listen, if it was just across the board, you doing that to everybody, but we have seen disproportionately the injustice and inequality that is done toward our people and still being done. Come on, y'all. Man, if you ain't never faced racism and looked that thing in the eye, you have no idea what we're talking about. And if you have never spent one day as a black person in this country, you have no idea what we go through. None.
Does it still hurt your heart, Cassandra?
It hurts me, man. It brings me to tears because, man, y'all, I say this all the time. My nephew was killed. He was killed by police because of the color of his damn skin. And nothing else. Nothing else. That boy was a good kid that was living with schizophrenia. He had no right dying. Like an animal.
Wow.
This is personal to me. For some people, maybe it's just, oh yeah, black people always complaining. They always got something. If you spend a day, I would like for every white person in this country to spend the day as a black person and then come back and tell me something. Talk to me then.
Wow. That would be an interesting experience for them to have just at one day. And then I want them to understand that we live it every day. We live it every day. Toya, you want to talk to me, sis?
Yeah, it's easier from the outside when you don't go through it. It's easy to say a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy. How often our kids say to us in our household, yeah, you can't afford it. Today on the outside, you think it's okay. We make it look easy. And then you have an expectation that's not true. And I think that when it comes to racism, people do that the same way. You don't know what it's like. You don't know what you go through because you're privileged.
Mm-hmm.
You're entitled. You move different in life, and you're never going to be able to understand where we're coming from. Just like you never understand what it's like to have a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Men never understand what it's like to have a baby.
Yeah.
You can be a flog all you want to. Stand there, you can see it come out. You go, oh, you're going to faint just from looking at it. But imagine the pain. And then you want to make a comment about giving birth, but you can't give birth. You want to give a comment about how it feels on a monthly basis to get cramps, but you don't get them. And that's what it's kind of like with racism. That's what it's kind of like when people try to talk about Black people about slavery. And then you want to take a step further and say it didn't happen to me, as if we don't understand that things are passed down. So you mean to tell me if you heard that your great-grandmother got murdered by a person, it wouldn't affect you?
Mm.
You didn't know her.
Yeah.
It wasn't you. It wasn't you. But she's still a victim on Charles Manson list. How you going to feel about it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's going to affect you. And this is what we do. We're delirious in America. And all of this is a part of helping America stay where we are, to throw oil on fires and to have us walking around delirious, have us walking around distracted so we don't really know and acknowledge and see what's really going on, to have us walking around mad and angry about something that is right under the laws of the law, because most of this stuff is laws. It turns into laws, whether you believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Laws for people protection. And then you still want to say that there's not a problem. Well, you know how many parents that abused their kids and killed them? People said it wasn't a problem at their house too when DFACS took them back. When they went to jail or when they went to court and they went against a judge, they said it wasn't a problem either. Just as equally the same as having a Black man run through some place that wasn't nobody else's business, killing him, and thought that it was not anyone else's problem, that they were going to hide it. And then people are still saying that racism don't exist.
Mm.
I
Wow.
mean, this is a deep world that we're in, but at the end of the day, when we're groomed, and that's what they do to us in America. This is called grooming. They're grooming us.
Mm-hmm.
They give us things, they give us perks, just like with COVID, to kill us, to keep us off guard. They give us medicines, they give us food. This entire country over here is not connected to the slavery of only Black people. It's to the slavery of us all, because we all free slaves.
Mm-hmm.
We all get money taken out of our checks. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that we acknowledge that, but it isn't until this big hand turns and they see that they don't have the power that they thought they had, they were just helping pushing an agenda. That's going to be the point to where it was like, oh, wow, there's another plan. But just listen. Just listen, just look at the stuff that we go around as humans and think that it can't affect you, and it's not true. I mean, if you feel like you're a person who, I'm just going to say right now, if you're a white person in America, and then that your ancestors, it don't even have to be your ancestors. Your people didn't even have nothing to do with slavery. You still benefited from it because you're white. You understand what I'm saying?
Toya,
the
let me ask you this.
People benefited from was being the slave.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, we can sit up here and act like we don't acknowledge this grooming system that they're teaching us. But in every book that they put out, textbook about psychology, textbook about America, and every book that we put out as people, we come up with more ways to prove to you and show to you that some of these individuals in America not only influence racism, but they want to keep it here, they want to keep it alive, and they're going to make it bigger and better than before with a one-word order. So we can keep bickering with each other if we want to.
Hey, Toya, let me ask you this question.
Toya,
let me ask you this question, because we started out talking about the situation that's going on in Florida, how they're saying that slavery was beneficial. With them trying to erase and pull certain parts of history out and not tell the whole story, Toya, what do you think? What are they afraid of? What are they really afraid of?
I mean, they're afraid of what everyone is afraid of, the truth. Everybody's afraid of the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And the truth of the matter was, this kind of goes back to what we said the other day. Because they said we weren't valued, we weren't worthy, and made us slaves, we're not supposed to think we're not. We're supposed to think we're not now.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? That's true. Because what they did to us, no, it's always been the truth. And the truth is, we were never slaves. We were never anybody's property. Women were never anybody's property. It doesn't matter what they said, what they thought. And the fact of the matter is, the same way that they tricked the slaves into thinking that they were less than and to accept it is the same way in America they are trying to reinvent the slavery system one more time because they know that we're waking up. But again, we have to understand who we are as humanity, not as American citizens. That's the tricky part. Because this cult-like thing that we joined in with this Constitution and its values, it's still a cult-like system created for a certain set of people.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we can, again, try to portray like we're doing something the exact opposite. But no, we have to pay very closely. We have to look at history. And then we have to look at today. And with history and slavery and a statement stating that it is beneficial in any kind of way to anybody, that should let you know that it's the turn of a century event that's getting ready to happen. And it's not only going to be for Black people. That's why they are making sure that we are strapped for cash. Inflation takes us out because this is not just going to be about color. It's going to be about good and evil. And it's going to be about rich versus poor. So again, y'all be stay distracted and let them think that it's not a plan, but it's definitely a plan. They're telling it to us to our face.
Wow. Ryan, talk to me, brother. What do you think about this whole situation we're talking about, man? We got a lot of stuff on the table right now. What's on your heart, brother?
And how you gonna have me follow up after them two?
Come on, man. Come on.
That's bull crap.
We got a batter's order. We got to stay in that batter's order. We got a batter's order. It's time for you to come up to the bat, brother. Go on up to the plate. Here go your bat right here. Swing, batter, swing.
I could throw you a curveball, swing and a miss, and mute my mic. I mean, of course, obviously, I'm not a person of color. I grew up like one, but that don't mean nothing, right? I still don't have to experience. But what I don't know. I was thinking about what Badger said about our society. But that's the thing. Like, I think we're kind of duped into thinking it's just our society because the system isn't only here in this country. The system is worldwide. Toya hit it on the head when she said one world, right?
Mm-hmm.
One world government, one world system.
Mm-hmm.
It's all the same. I think the system in this country was built to harm people of color because that's what they use in this country to create division because it works for them.
Mm-hmm.
It makes them money. But I think global scale, the system hates everybody if you're not in the 1% or higher. Because what we see as the 1%, they still puppets too. There's people bigger than them. We just don't know about them.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, they still over there selling people in China. They selling the Uyghur Muslims over there. Slavery's still going on today, and that's not to take away from what we're talking about. But the point of what I'm saying is that system is still alive.
Mm-hmm.
It's still happening.
Mm-hmm.
And we're still arguing about it here too. It's everywhere. That system hates everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And it kills me to my core because I love everybody. I don't care what color, national, whatever. Don't matter to me. You're still a person until you prove me wrong.
Exactly.
And the fact that someone would try to destroy any part of Black history or anybody's history, because I get the same anger when they go start tearing down stuff in other countries, those extremist groups trying to wash out history. My culture had its history washed out. We don't have nothing. Nothing. Couple pages. The Aztecs and the Mayans. Nothing. Couple of pages. Some writings on the wall. So what happens when all of our collective histories are gone? We have nothing to look back on. We have nothing to learn from. What happens then? They gain complete control because we have nothing to fight with. It's gone. It makes me so angry for everybody. I really ain't got nothing else to say on it right now. I'm starting to get mad.
I see you bubbling up over there. I see you bubbling up. Let me go to Curtis. Curtis, I'm gonna ask you this question, man. And it's been discussed, and I think we talked about it on the Morning Glow or one of the broadcasts that we do here on DKM. But slavery, and I want to hear your whole heart when you answer this question. Was slavery based on racism or economics?
Economics.
So where all the racism come
was
from?
Just a tool used.
Okay.
Racism was just a tool used. Slavery was based on primarily economics, power and privilege, and continuing to use that. There's racism is just a tool. It's like if I gotta go from here to you, right? I could walk there, I could ride there, or I could get on a horse and take my horse and buggy there, or I could get in my car and go. Racism is just a means to transport the economic or support the economic base thereof, create a form of generational wealth. The sad reality is this, is that after the Civil Rights Movement, there was the president commissioned the governor of Illinois, last name was Kerner, put together a committee and really examine what was going on in America. The Kerner Commission told the world that the biggest problem that America would face is racism, because it is a tool being used to demoralize and or destroy the economic foundation of a community, right? And Toya, I'm gonna piggyback on something Toya said, although it's loose in my mind. I hope she say it again. So you gotta understand the movement of what's going on, right? Let me say this first. No slave master was ever an overseer. I'm gonna say it again. No slave master was ever an overseer. If you read the Willie Lynch letter, it tells you, as a wealthy man, that you have to create a society of overseers. After you break the slave, you have to also break the white poor peasants into believing that they have something that the slaves don't have. They have a privilege that the slaves don't have. They have a power that the slaves don't have. You must create an overseer. Most overseers, in all reality, was poor white folk. Every once in a while, you'll get a Stephen. So you got to understand the real foundation of this thing. Lastly, I'll say this. Because we have done so much and we have worked to cover up so much, the easiest way to cover things up is to obfuscate. What that legislation is doing is obfuscating the idea of the cruelty that was done to the African American Negro. So what they're doing is they're obfuscating the cruelty to then tell you the positive things, when the positive things was obfuscated first. The fact that we created the stoplight, all these things that have made America this great economic, financially secure country. They obfuscated for years and didn't tell the people. They didn't tell the people that we created the chip for the computer. They didn't tell the people we created cable TV. They didn't tell the people we created the helicopter. They didn't tell all of these things, all of these things have been obfuscated, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now they want to throw it in, but then obfuscate the road for which we had to travel to create those things. The damage that was done in the midst. They didn't tell us that we actually created the light bulb.
Mm-hmm.
That we actually are the founders of electrical currents moving from one place to the other. They didn't tell you that. So we have to be mindful and cognizant of the fact that, okay, the playbook says that if you want to maintain control of any given situation, you must obfuscate from the truth. You're going to have to tell a lie if you have not played a part in the creation or foundation thereof.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like the businessman who tell you, I can make you $5 million. If you give me 5,000, I can make you 5 million. You give him the 5,000, and sure enough, he comes back and you look at your account got 5 million in it. You're like, oh man, he did this thing, but he didn't tell you he was going to kill 300,000 Africans in Somalia.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't know nothing about that.
Yeah.
He obfuscated from telling you how he was going to do it.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I got this clip. I'm gonna play this clip, and it has a couple of words in it, but I want to play it and overlook the wordplay. And we got our Captain Leonard is here. We're gonna go to Captain Leonard after we do this clip here. But I want to play this clip real quickly. Let me get myself organized here. Y'all bear with me for a second. It's not a short clip. I think it's about 4 minutes. So get ready to listen in and see what this fella's talking about.
Again, the whole history of America is the history of rich white men telling not rich white people that their enemies are black and brown. It starts in the colonies of what would become the United States. Let's remember, during the colonial period, mid-1600s, there was no such thing as white people. I know some people who are now called white find that shocking, right? Because they think whiteness is real, right? But whiteness was created. Europeans didn't call themselves white. We didn't call ourselves white. We weren't all members of one big happy family. Are you kidding? Have you studied the history of Europe? The history of Europe was about killing each other. That's what we did in Europe. We just killed each other before we figured out there were other people to kill. We just killed each other, right? I mean, that was the history of Europe. The English hated the Irish, right? Northern Italians didn't even think that Southern Italians were Italians. The Germans hated everybody, and everybody hated their ass right back, right? There was no team called white, no race called white, but all of a sudden, in the middle of the 1600s, there was. Why? Why was it suddenly necessary to create this thing called the white race? Well, because rich people can count, that's why. And so rich folks looked around, the ones that owned all the land, you know, in the colonies, the colonial elite looked around and they realized something, that they were heavily outnumbered by African enslaved folks, by European indentured servants who were just one level above a slave, or other Europeans who weren't technically indentured servants, but they were still peasants, didn't have any money, didn't have any land, and they could do the math. They added it up and they were like, damn, we got to figure out a way to split these folks apart from one another or they're going to rise up and take our stuff, right? Because after a while, these black folks who were enslaved Africans and these quote unquote white folks who were poor Europeans are going to figure out they're all getting played by these rich people, right? So ultimately the rich figure out they got to come up with some way to get somebody in that group on their team. The easiest thing is to get the poor Europeans, right? Because at least they look like you. They sort of share some of the customs and the culture. So they all of a sudden create this thing called whiteness and they say, now you're part of the club. Now we're going to let you testify in court, enter into contracts, vote, at least if you're a man, own a little bit of land, at least if you're a man, right? And we're going to get rid of indentured servitude. No more of that because you're too good for that. And we're going to take the white men, now called white men, and put them on the slave patrol to keep black people in line. give them a horse and a gun and a badge and make them feel big and powerful, right? They're still poor. They still don't have anything. They didn't pay the slave patrol well, right? Just exploited them, used them as a buffer between the elite and the other poor folks, particularly poor folks of color. And pretty soon the rebellions that occasionally happened where black and white got together to overthrow the elite, those stopped because the divide and conquer had begun to work, right? You could turn people against each other by telling those poor white folks, they got to keep these black people in line. And so that divide and conquer gets initiated in the colonies. Rich white men telling not rich white people that their enemies are black and brown. Fast forward to the Civil War era. And you have, I'm from the South, right? My people, the elite in my part of the country, right, actually announced that the reason they wanted to break away from the Union and possibly go to war with their brothers and sisters to the North was in order to maintain slavery and white supremacy. They said that at the time. We lie about it now. And we say it had nothing to do with that. But of course, at the time, they didn't have any shame about it, so they just said it openly. Right? The vice president of the Confederacy, Alexander Stephens, said that the cornerstone of the new government was the great truth that the Negro was not the equal of the white man. So
Yes.
that's the reason the Confederacy was formed and existed. But here's the trick. If I'm rich and I want to go to war to protect my ownership in other human beings, my property, but you're poor and you don't own any enslaved people, why the hell would you go fight to protect my stuff? Because I'm a rich person. I'm not going to fight. Rich people don't go to war, right? Rich people get poor people to go to war for them, whether it's in 1860 or whether it's during the 1960s or whether it's today, right? Rich folks get doctors to write notes for them that say that they have heel spurs and that's why they can't go to Vietnam. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, you can Google that shit because he's sitting in the White House right now, right? Well, I can't go fight. I have heel spurs. Send some poor kids to do that for me, please, right? So that's been a long-standing tradition. So the rich have to figure out a way to convince the poor to go fight for them. But that's a hard thing. That's like a hard sell, right? Like how the hell, why would you do that? Why would you go fight to protect my property rights when you don't own anything? The only way you would do it is if that rich person comes to you and says, hey, listen, you gotta go fight because we gotta maintain our way of life because if these people get free, they're gonna take your jobs. No, fool, they already got your job. That's how it works, right? Because if I'm white and I got to charge you $1 a day to work on the farm, but you can get a black person to do it for nothing because you own them, guess who got the job? Free got the job, right? So in a sense, poor white folks would have been better off joining with black folks to overthrow the slave system. That would have raised the wage floor of all working people. But they got tricked by rich white men telling them that their enemies were black and brown. Fast forward to the 1930s. And you have white labor leaders. They're not even the elite, right? The labor leaders are not the elite, but they're the elite within the labor movement. And even they had fallen for it at this point. So they didn't want to integrate their unions. And they would say things like, well, we can't have black people and Mexicans and Chinese folks in our unions because if we do that, it's going to reduce the professionalism of our craft. We have to maintain the integrity of our profession. No, fool, you need more people in the damn union is what you need. And if you don't let those folks in, guess what happens when you go out on strike? Who is the boss going to use to replace you? They're going to replace you with the very same black and brown folks that you didn't want to work next to, right? And so at the end of and then you're going to blame them for taking your job rather than the white rich dude for giving it to them, right? Divide and conquer, telling not rich white folks that their enemies are black and brown. And now we fast forward to the president. We got the president of the United States becoming president on the basis of that same rhetoric. Telling not rich white folks that the reason they don't have a job is because Mexicans took them, right? That's the argument. Keep in mind, there's been a net outflow of Mexican folks from this country, out of this country in the last 10 years. Right now, border crossings and actual in-migration at the lowest level they've been since the 1970s. So anybody who believes that is a damn fool or somebody who does not understand how to do research on the internet or someone who doesn't care, right? But he says the reason you don't have a job is those brown folks took them.
Wow. He put a lot out there, man. He put a lot out there in that clip. Like I said, it was a little longer than what I usually like to play, but I know there was a lot of information that he was putting out there. Captain Leonard, good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem and the Morning Glow family. What's up?
Hey, we're talking about Florida. We're talking about the situation in Florida, and they have said, Florida has said that slavery, they got this new thing they're teaching in schools now. that slavery somehow benefited black people. The act of slavery, it taught them stuff that they need, and it's gonna go out, it's gonna benefit them, blah blah blah. And now you just heard the clip of the young man, one of our Caucasian brothers, was talking about how this whole system is set up. So I'm gonna ask you this question, Leonard: Have we all been bamboozled, brother?
No, no.
Mm-hmm.
I
Talk to
mean, to assume that would be ridiculous as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
People are doing what they want to do.
Mm-hmm. Which is?
So if anybody is bamboozling anybody, you must be bamboozling yourself.
Mm.
You don't have to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just put that out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the majority of, it's much harder.
What, let me ask you this question, and I'm gonna switch it because maybe my delivery was not right, because of the way that it's set up, and what he explained about how certain individuals pit one against the other, then grab them on the side and say you this and you that. That's what I mean when I say have we all been bamboozled, because the haves is going to go out there and get the have-nots and pull them in to increase their numbers and make it seem like they're. And he was talking about the whiteness of it. He was talking about the whiteness. They're gonna do this and they're gonna do that, and then he's pitting everybody else against the black and the brown. That's what I mean when I say have we been bamboozled.
I don't know if you're that type of person. Maybe you have. I mean, I don't, like I said, I've said several times.
Mm-hmm.
Just because a man says something don't mean I go along with what he says.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm not the type of, you have your opinion of what you want to do, and how you do it and why you do it is up to you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I was having this conversation with someone the other day. I don't associate with people who are that ignorant.
Mm-hmm. Why is it ignorant to look at situations as they are and call them for what they are?
No, that part is not ignorant. Believing what that other man told you
Okay.
is ignorant.
Okay.
I have no more respect for other men than myself. So whatever anyone says to me is just their opinion of something.
Okay.
Just because I say, you know what, we're gonna go kill all people that's short. Yeah. I mean, I'm not that type of person. Because I have moral values. I am a human being, an individual. Now, if you are inferior, that's a different conversation. Because inferior people behave that way.
Now, what do you think about what Florida is saying about slavery benefited black people?
Who's saying it? The devil himself.
That's again.
Then why would I believe him? Now, if you got a black person that says that they benefited from being a slave, that's a lot more credible. But not what some white devil is saying to convince you that what he's saying is right. It's in the convincing. It don't have to be true. It's in if I can convince you to believe it. One of the hardest things for someone to admit is that they are ignorant and they have been taken advantage of.
Wow.
I'm gonna put it this way because it's a lot closer. Women, how often have you believed a man?
Stay right there, Leonard. Stay right there. Don't you go nowhere. Stay right there, Cassandra. What's on your heart? Cassandra? Cassandra taking that putting that cuss monitor on her mouth so she don't cuss. That's what she's doing right now, y'all. It's taking a couple of seconds, but she putting that cuss monitor on her lips so she don't cuss. Toy, you want to talk to me, sis?
Yeah. So do you know the guy's name of that
clip that I just played? I'm at to pull it back up. I pulled it back up and look at his name. As a matter of fact,
okay.
if you like, I'll send a clip to you.
Yeah, I was gonna say forward me the clip.
Yeah, I do that.
Yeah, there are a few couple of explanations, right, on humanity. And I think that's the part that we forget, humanity and how we've done over time. You know what I mean? I think we still always find something other than evil to talk about. All that is pure evil. I get off track. You know what I mean? The spirit and principalities aspect. We're looking for an excuse when at the end of the day, it's just pure evil. There are people who are just like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's people there's no excuse. There's no
none
clinical reason. Again, this system, this is a European system. We all got a system. All humans got a system on which we operate from, whether it's an European one, an Asian one, a German one, Russian one, whatever. We all got a system. And in our system, we have to come up with some kind of clinical explanation for evil. Then we give it different names. Sociopathic, narcissistic, whatever. Give it different names. But at the end of the day, it is pure evil, y'all.
Yeah.
And it comes in all colors, shapes, sizes, forms, and ages. The demon is like a shapeshifter. And this is the part that we really got to hone in onto, because some of this stuff can be prevented and changed with prayer.
Wow.
Defeated with prayer. Overcome with prayer. You can have a jump on some of it with prayer. Staying in tune with the spirit. Understanding humanity. You can feel when evil like this is around. It's an eeriness about it. You can go in areas where evilness has been done and feel it. It's an energy. And we always want to put it in a box, put it in a cupcake container, and put a little pretty bow on it, and then make it a color, make it a man, make it a chemical. This is evil, y'all. We talking about.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We have to be very careful and very mindful that we are beings equipped to overcome and defeat it. We have to break this spell of thinking that evil doesn't last or evil changes its shape, but that means it's not evil anymore. And I think that's how we're walking around today in 2023. We know the evil that's happened here. We talk about it on a daily basis, and some of them are conspiratorial, and some of them are written on paper in government offices, locked up.
Come on.
But we still take opportunities to walk around here and act as if, oh no, what? No way. And this is how we allow our children outside unsupervised and they get taken. This is how we let our kids go to school and not be prepared if somebody run up in there with a pistol.
Come on.
Because we're so distracted knowing that this evil lurks everywhere, every day, in every color, but we're still too feeble-minded to understand the number one cure to avoid these main things is something that God gave you, whether you ain't never got no church, whether you ain't never got no Bible, and that is prayer and constant communication with him. And he will always be on your side, and he might tell you something weird, like, don't send your child to school today.
Yeah. Keep that baby at home today. Keep that baby at home. Yep.
I'm saying, in this system that we out here lurking in, because evil is there. Hey, they said they don't feel good, don't let them go home today. But no, you so adapted in the system. Now you're going to go, you're about to school. That's what y'all do. But there's something telling you, and you're ignoring it because you fail to be honest about who holds the power in this world, in this earth, and you give that power to the people running the system that we talk about every day, that we see on the news is distorted and dysfunctional every day, but we still continue to allow that opportunity or that system to lead us. And hey, that's why we're having this conversation right here. That's why we got clips of people breaking down this system, trying to help people wake up and understand that you have to take a certain amount of power back, especially when recognizing that the system we're living in, we run it unless we give them full power to tell us who we are and what we're going to do next.
Absolutely. 508-924-3521. 924-3521. I'm gonna go in this order right here. We're gonna go. I'm gonna try to go back to Cassandra. We missed her a minute ago, so I'm gonna go back to her as well. But right now we're gonna go Kurt, Ryan, and then Tucson. Kurt, what's on your heart, brother? What did you hear in that clip?
Well, I sure do appreciate it because that's my man Tim Wise.
Yep, that's his name.
Is that correct?
That's his name. Yep, exactly. Yep, that's exactly his name.
I'm surprised that he has not been murdered.
Yeah, because he do a lot of that.
He is the male version of Dr. Jane Elliott.
Yep.
And big ups to him. I want to go and hear him speak. He hasn't come to Baltimore yet. But I want to go and hear him speak. And I actually seen something one time where I want to say it was him and Minister Farrakhan. And it wasn't a debate. They were touching and agreeing. And it was a very, very enlightening situation. It's nice to hear that come from the other side of the aisle. What I heard is a situation where certain folks are telling other folk that, listen, what you have been sold is a lie.
Yep.
And unworthy of your participation in it. A big supporter of Mr. Wise. I've sent him money. I've supported his movement, and I will continue to support his movement. One of the things that I have had to say to both of my kids is that the truth is this: if you see it and you remain silent of it, then you're equally as responsible for it. Because at this point, it is up to that side of the aisle to stop it. It's not on us anymore. We've said and we've done everything that we can do. There are those that believe that, we're here, folks say, well, the crime rate and we hear all kinds of things to justify why we are in the situation that we're in, which I think is a bunch of fracking bull crap.
Malarkey, yeah.
We'll hear all those things. Never even we're here that to create this element where we won't look at precipitating factors. We'll completely ignore that, which I think is very ignorant. Because all at the same time you'll hear, well, you guys need to hold yourselves accountable. Well, when I look at what I see, we are the only segment in society that is actually holding our people accountable. That's just what it is. People can argue that we're not. They can say whatever they want to say. To each his own. That's on you. But I know what I see. And what I see is a segment in society that continuously pushes to hold the African American community to a higher level of accountability than they're willing to hold their own. And that's just what it is. In my opinion, that's just what it is. It ain't no in between, ain't no way around it. We can sit here and act like we don't see it. But it's true. It's true. I say it again. Ahmaud Arbery. I have lived right next door. Right here, you remember when they was building up on 21, when they put all them big fancy houses out on 21 going towards Blythewood?
Yeah.
And Steve Davis one of the first ones that bought a house out there.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that?
Yeah, I do.
I have seen on countless times. I lived right next door to there. I could stand on my porch and watch them build those houses.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I've seen on countless times our Caucasian American brothers and sisters pull up, walk all through the frames of the houses and everything. Nothing happened to them.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention, I'm one of those kids that didn't hear about a cross, but saw a cross burning in my backyard, right there in Dublin, Georgia.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on, Kurt.
So
wrap it up for me. Got to keep it moving, brother.
Yeah, I'm wrapping up. So don't tell me what don't exist.
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother's told me what the real deal was.
Mm-hmm.
So don't tell me it don't exist.
Yeah,
because it does.
Exactly. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Got a few more minutes before we get out of here. Let me go to let me see, can I catch up with Cassandra? Cassandra, you back with us? Cassandra, you there?
Yep.
Okay,
I'm here.
Did you hear the clip?
I want to go. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I love what he said because it was just truth.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hit on something Toya said.
Okay.
Toya, you know, I've said it multiple times. I'm from Charleston, South Carolina. My ancestors, came in to Charleston Harbor on those ships. My family came in straight from Africa. I mean, you know what I'm saying? When they brought the ships in, my ancestors got off of the ship and they remained in Charleston. And to this day, my family members are there, right? Yeah. I tell y'all no lie. The reason that I will never live in Charleston again is because spiritually, there is a looming, I call it spirit of oppression because of what took place in Charleston for all those years. There is something spiritual that hangs over Charleston. And that's why white people love going there and walking through the slave markets and seeing, they come from all around the world to Charleston.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To see the plantations, to see, I'm talking from all over the world. Mm-hmm. Charleston is totally a tourist city. Mm-hmm. And I grew up maybe not even a mile from the slave market. That's where I grew up. You understand? So I'm not talking about something that I think, and I've seen racism firsthand. I've seen, you know, how people, like, they'll call you gal.
Yeah.
And little demeaning things. And I worked for a man one time. I told him if he ever said that to me again, it was gonna be a problem. Mm-hmm. And he was an old white man. I said, Mr. Kerr, if you ever call me that again, we gonna have a problem. So I just want us just be aware that some of us have lived this thing. We ain't talking about, I lived in a slave state in a slave city where actually my people came on boats in like a mile, not even from my house. And that stays with you. It stays with you guys. You don't ever get past remembering that because you'll have daily reminders when you live there, because I worked out in the slave area as well. Mm-hmm. You never get away from it. Yeah. So Toya, thank you for mentioning that. It's evil.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. 508-924-3521. The phone lines open. We got a few more minutes before we get out of here. We're closing down at 10 this morning, but the phone lines are open. 508-924-3521. Let's go to Ryan. Ryan, what's on your heart, brother? Tucson, coming to you next.
He said, "I'm shutting it down at 10."
Yes, sir. But you know how this thing go, man. We'll probably be 10:05, 10:10. You know how we do. But go ahead, brother. What's on your heart?
I like what Cassandra said. It's it's a looming spirit or a presence, and it's true. Not just to Charleston, but I think there's a lot of places that harbor these spirits. It's like
Yeah.
a overwhelming presence.
Mm-hmm.
You've ever visited any place that had to do with the Holocaust, or any place that had something terrible happen? You just feel it, right? You know, something happened here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's the same feeling on the good side as well. Like, I know people who will travel to Israel and just walk because of the presence there.
Mhm.
And, you know, I myself have experienced things of that nature here in my own state. Right around where I live, there's not too far from here, it's a place called Walled Lake. They call it Walled Lake because it had a wall in between the lake that separated the Pilgrims from the Indians.
Mm-hmm.
And much of that time was peaceful, believe it or not, until one day it wasn't.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And so you can dive there, you can find the wall. It's still there in the middle of the lake. But what they never told you was the other side, there was a burial ground there. And you could go there, and today there's a park sitting right there on top of it. People out there, they have a fair, all kind of stuff. One day the rains got real bad and bodies start coming up out the earth.
Good Lord.
Yeah. So there was a presence there, and it always had been there, and people knew, but newcomers to the area and a lot of the people that have been here forever, they just dismiss it as nothing. People don't understand. I say all that to say people just don't understand the power of forces that we can't see every day. You get numb to it. These things are real. Spirits and principalities are real. As much as people want to dismiss them, they play a role in everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not open and connected to your spiritual side, to God, however you want to look at it, you become numb and you
Yeah.
start to not care about what's going on around you. I
Mhm.
refuse to become numb.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Tucson, talk to me, brother. This is good this morning, y'all. This is good. Tucson, talk to me.
Yeah, I think the whole conversation that we've had kind of circles around and makes me think about I am my brother's keeper. And then when Cain's blood cried from the ground, there's an evil here that causes us to be destructive,
Mm-hmm.
not only to ourselves, but to others.
Mm-hmm.
And people manipulate that evil and con other folks in thinking they're a little bit more superior. And they don't care for them either.
Yeah.
The enemy don't care for none of us.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big thing. The spiritual wickedness that Brian was talking about, that evil right there is prevalent. And see, what kills me is that, we can discredit scripture or whatever, Bible or Quran or whatever, but people use the truths of it. Even if it's the evil of it, because they know it works.
Yes.
Going way back to Goshen, where Pharaoh said, the new Pharaoh, I'm not talking about the old one,
Mm-hmm.
the new Pharaoh, the old one had died. And he says there's some people over there, and no matter how we have put them on, they multiply.
Mm-hmm.
And if we go to war and they join in with our enemies, they they're gonna be defeated. So what did they do? Oppress them. That still happens today. And so if we don't open our eyes and see that we're multiplying because we like to breed like horses. But then it's for a purpose so that we would be a great people. But the worst thing that we do, and I'm gonna say this, I shut up. We have this Cain spirit. Kill it. Because we can make ultimate sacrifices as we help each other. We can do great things that God is pleased. Why are we jealous about each other? You know what I'm saying? Jealous of each other. For what? If you do well, then all you gotta do is do well. But if not, I'm sorry to say, just like at the beginning, just like it's gonna be the same thing now. Sin lied at the door. I'm just saying. It's repetitive. I used a big word
today. you sure did, brother. You graduated. You graduated to the big. You graduated to the big table. You graduated to the big table. Cassandra, talk to me. Cassandra. Cassandra might have stepped away again. She may have stepped away. So, Toya with a T, bring it home for us.
I mean, I don't know about bringing it home, but, I think that, we really need to wake up and understand how powerful we are and understand that we have power against some of the forces of these things. And I believe that we have power to fight against forces of slavery. I mean, I don't know if anybody else does, but I know I do. I know I'm not going down without a fight. I know I'm not going to let it happen to me. I know I'm not going to let it happen to other people. But then I found a more spiritual side of myself that this God I serve, he's made me more powerful than the system has allowed me to be. And I use that power. That power is love. Just talking to people, getting to know people, not being shy, not being in a shell, not being scared to tell people who God are and how people, how powerful we really are. And we got the power to change all these issues that we up here talking about, making it seem like it's so complicated. We as humans have the power to change this, man. And we don't. We leave it to, I don't know, some other nefarious force, I guess, if that's what we want to put it on. But this change is everyone, right? There are days where I lived.
Hey, what's up?
I lived evil, and that evil, someone else took it, and it transpired to the 10th power, right? And we need to be aware of that. All of these things are not just from one place. It's a little occurring from everything that happens, and everyone has to take accountability when it comes to allowing wicked to happen, right? And being an author of wickedness in its own, because these things can become perverted and distorted when you're dealing with other human beings. Some things that we do that we may not know offend someone can potentially help influence someone to become a wicked person when they grow up and achieve and have certain power because of a certain, something you've done along the way. So we have to be very cautious about the power that we have, because we have the power to create wicked ones too now.
Exactly.
These people that do this are people's kids, people's brothers, people's fathers, people's uncles, and sometimes we have to stop and help be a part of stopping some of this evilness in its tracks. You understand what I'm saying? Like, for real. These are people's relatives who help commit some of these atrocious acts. And sometimes only people that can stop them is ones that's closest to them. So we have to be mindful of evil, and even when it's lurking right there around us, when this is our brother. You know what I'm saying?
That's good. That's good. That's good. Captain Leonard, talk to me, brother. How do we get rid of these evils that we're speaking of right now? How do we get rid of them?
Well, I think you have to accept from the beginning, it's always been a fight. I believe as Brian's mentioned and Donald mentioned as well. I have a problem that believe that everybody is good.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, as long as you just go along with it, it'll work out. No, it won't. Because there are people with an agenda to destroy you. So what should you be doing? Sitting around hoping things work out or preparing a battle plan of your own? I'm just blessed
Mm-hmm.
to have been around people who raised me to
Mm-hmm.
believe in the reality of things. We were never lied to. We never bought what people were selling just because.
Yeah.
And a lot of times to try to deceive someone and get you killed quick.
Mm-hmm.
I can think of, I listened to stories, and one when Miss Cassandra was talking. But then again, they don't believe in ghosts. Why not? That's all. That's what that is.
Mm-hmm.
So never have I had the luxury of claiming ignorance this way.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been aware of the evil in this world from a very young child. So I'm not shocked. I know exactly who my enemy is and who I am against. And that's the way it's going to be until the creator decides to make a decision. So those people who think you just got to go along with the get along, somebody got to go to hell, and I'd rather it be you.
Wow. 508. We got a few more minutes. We got 10 minutes before we get out of here. So 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Have any thoughts on your heart? Something you want to say? Something you heard something that you agree or disagree with? Give us a call. We got 10 minutes to do it. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Cassandra, you back with us? Kirk, talk to me, brother.
Yeah, what's up?
Talk to me.
Well, once again, we have heard the call. Okay, so I'm just going to go spiritual for a minute. All right.
Mm-hmm.
What there's nothing new under the sun according to the Bible, right?
Yes.
What we are experiencing right now, in my opinion, is we are living in the days of Ezekiel. And I think you heard me say this before, had this conversation before, where we are living in the days of Ezekiel, right? At this point in our span, we are the bones.
Wow.
And folks are standing. And at this point in the story, I believe we at that point where the folks who are called to call forth the bones is listening to the angel. They're going through that phase of questioning, why me? I can't make these bones move. And the angels is letting them know, all you got to do is speak. God gave you that power. Speak. And when I look at it from the perspective of symbolism, once again, I go back to Amari. There was a lot of lessons, I believe, that throughout this process of destroying racism or the attempt thereof, the Amari Aubrey case. Amari Aubrey. But I can't pronounce his name.
Amari Aubrey.
But Amari Aubrey.
Yes.
There was things in that case that were very, very symbolic and very, very spiritually
a certain level of spiritual knowledge that should have been gained from that case. If you looked at it from a spiritual perspective, or if you looked at it from a physical perspective. From a physical perspective, we literally watched Rosewood happen. But in this case, they actually caught him. We literally got the chance to watch Jazzman's blues happen live and in color right in front of our faces.
Wow. Wow.
Then, from a spiritual perspective, we literally watched those who are evil and deceptive try to, unlike in the Bible, they were successful with, I believe it was Nebuchadnezzar when it came down to Daniel in the lion's den. We literally got the chance to watch them try to remove God from the lion's den.
Wow.
We literally watched this go on. But I stand steadfast in the hope and belief that these bones will rise. We will assemble and we will take our place. I'm going to say it again.
Proper place.
I stand fast in the hope and belief of knowing that the bones will rise, they will assemble, and they will take their place.
Good
if you
deal.
take anything from this, that's what you take from it.
Absolutely.
If you're a white nationalist, you should be scared, because your kids are going to grow to completely hate everything that you tried to teach them.
Wow. Wow. That's good. Almost time for us to get out of here. Hey, Leonard.
Hey, Raheem. All hail the good bishop, Gregory Adams.
Bishop, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
And I'm great. You ain't gonna use your normal catchphrase. You late for the day, but early for Monday.
Hey, yeah, you already know, brother. You already know. You don't heard it many of times. But listen, I want to hear your heart on something, man. We're talking about Florida and how they passed this new thing educationally, where they're trying to teach that slavery has some benefits to black people. There's a lot of benefits that slavery gave to black people. And I want to hear your heart on that, man. What are some of the benefits that we got from being enslaved?
Man, we ain't get no benefit of them. Learn how to be hard workers. How about that? We ain't learned nothing. They took advantage of everything they did, man. And I don't see nothing positive in it. It's unfortunate that we have state legislators in that particular state that will stand by and allow that to be fair. It's a shame. It really is.
What do you think, Bishop? What do you think? Because they're actually, to a certain degree, they're trying to erase elements of our history. What are they trying to hide from? What is it that they appear to be afraid of?
Well, they're afraid of a revolt. This young generation now is not really going to stand by and allow what happened some hundreds of years ago to the black people. So they're afraid that they may, rise up and cause a revolt. That's one of the things about it. They don't want to go back down that road to open up a can of whoop behind.
Mm-hmm.
I was with several legislators last night, and some of the things we were discussing fall in line with this very thing, and how they called Indian savages. They came over here, certain Europeans, they moved here and took this country, man, and had the Indians walk from Florida all the way up to Oklahoma. That's where you Trail of Tears. They oppressed the black people and put us in slavery and didn't want us to learn how to read. There's so many negatives, and so they don't want to take responsibility of what they did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody gonna have to give an account on the day of judgment. I think I heard, Leonard saying something about, somebody got to go to hell.
Mm-hmm.
It'd rather be them,
Yeah.
you, as some would say,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to me. So I'm making every effort to make sure I don't go to hell. I'm gonna treat people right, do people right, but I'm gonna educate in every aspect that I possibly can.
Hey,
So
how are you? How you feeling this morning?
Now, Curtis, you got to mute your line, Curtis. You know we can hear you, brother. We can hear you. You got your little conversation going on in the background over there. Ryan, what's on your heart?
Hey, Curtis, we doing good.
Exactly.
Oh man, yeah. Like Bishop was saying, I don't think people going for it, and not gonna go for it again. And the difference this time is just people with my skin color. So I don't think we're going for that route again, because it affects everybody. You know what I'm saying? In the long run, it affects everybody. And I got nothing but love, man. Nothing but love to give.
Ain't got nothing but love for you. What you got? I got no. Oh, that's heavy. Oh, heavy D. Leonard, talk to me, brother.
It's I think that everyone has to understand that there is a fight,
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna stand outside of it as long as you can. But you're gonna realize even a black person will tell you that God it may, he still gets into those situations that he has to deal with this racism.
Mm-hmm.
He have all the money. Look at Oprah. All the money anyone could want. She still faced racism when she went in a store to buy something.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Them people got to die.
Mm-hmm.
And they cannot be allowed positions of power.
Mm-hmm.
And you can wish all you want to. You better learn how to play this game. You had better start teaching your children to be builders, to teach them that it's up to them to take and seize what they want, because everything else is doing just that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're sitting down waiting on something to happen, you probably gonna be the prey.
Mm-hmm.
This whole notion about you don't need no education, you don't need it. Okay, don't have it, and see what happens to you.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
We have to understand that. The minister always teaches about nation within a nation and building. You have to be prepared for that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't wait till the last minute when they knocking at your door. I remember a comedian used to tell a joke about somebody knocking at the door, talking about they still looking for Indians.
Wow.
It's because these people have had this agenda, and when you sit back on the sideline talking about I ain't got nothing to do with that, you might as well be on their side.
Mm-hmm.
You know what it takes to keep a wicked man out of office. Laws and legislations come from political positions, not from the barbershop,
Mm-hmm.
not from the grocery store, not from your church. So if you know that our team need to win, why don't you come down here and score some points?
Exactly.
Block somebody at least.
Mm-hmm.
Grab a rebound or two.
Trip them or something. Something. Do
but
something.
Don't sit around thinking you all that because you got flow seats to the game.
Be like Coach Tomlin. So Coach Tomlin fella intercepted the ball. Coach Tomlin on the sideline. He was gonna trip the man so the man didn't score. He was gonna trip
Come
him.
on, man. So
He got some
instead of talking
flack.
about the least you could do,
Mm-hmm.
do the very best that you can.
Mm-hmm.
That includes you making sure that you are secure health-wise, financially, spiritually, mentally. Work on those things so you are prepared for these battles where they come. Because it ain't like we're gonna all line up and get shot. Some of y'all gonna fight this battle down at the school, Some of you gonna fight this battle down at the local bank. Some of you gonna fight this battle all over the place where the enemy is.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to understand this concept. If you sitting around watching the innocent die, what type of person are you?
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Get
Wow.
in the way, like John Lewis used to tell us. Get in the way.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Well, I'm looking at the clock, y'all. It's 10:04. I said we're gonna get out of here at 10 o'clock. It's 10:04. It's been a great broadcast. We covered a lot today. We really covered a lot, man. I was contemplating bringing a guest in, but I said no. The conversation got so good, we'll bring that guest in Monday. And so we got a guest that's gonna be with us Monday. So y'all make sure y'all be here. It's gonna be very interesting. The topic we're gonna talk about Monday as well. It's gonna be very interesting. Y'all definitely gonna enjoy it. But Leonard, what's going on at 3 o'clock today?
And if you did not get a chance to hear this show in its entirety, log on to www.dkmmediagroup.com at 3 o'clock Eastern today.
Good deal. Curtis, you there?
Yeah, what up, man?
Pray us out, brother.
With our hearts and minds open and clear, let's go to the throne of grace. Most gracious and heavenly Father, we humbly submit our mind, bodies, and spirits unto you. Father, we submit knowing that it is only from you from which cometh our help. Father, we come on this day not asking you for anything, but thanking you for all things. Father, we thanking you for breathing a breath of life in our bodies. Father, we thanking you for touching our minds to be able to say the words that you would have us say. Father, we thanking you for holding, molding, and keeping us close to your bosom. Father, we thanking you for the fact that you just sent your son Jesus to die for our sins. Father, we thanking you for protecting our children, our family, and our friends as they slept last night. Father, we thanking you for the traveling mercy that you granted, that you will grant, and that you are granting right now. Father, we thanking you for all things, for we know that without you, nothing is accomplishable. Father, we thanking you. We thanking you in the mighty name of Yeshua. We say this prayer. In the mighty name of Yeshua, we say this prayer. In the mighty name of Yeshua, let us all say amen.
Good deal. Now we can end it now. This has been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your morning. It is now 10:07. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we are certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. That we shine some light of you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in and let your light so shine. Get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great weekend. Take care of each other. And please, please, please be blessed. Can stop that music from playing there. Y'all have a great weekend. Talk to you Monday morning. Look at the music want to come in on. Talk to you. Say goodbye. Oh, I didn't say it that time. Okay, maybe say it next time. Have a great weekend, y'all. Take care of each other and please be blessed. Love ya.